Hello everyone. Imagine this. One morning you wake up to find out that one of the most powerful countries in the world has just vanished and disintegrated overnight. I'm talking about the Soviet Union, officially known as the USSR. How did this mighty superpower, with its iron grip on Eastern Europe stretching all the way down till Afghanistan and far east to the Pacific, disintegrate so suddenly? In this episode, we will delve into exactly this and find out how and why this dramatic collapse of a superpower took place that shaped the global landscape while also understanding how this country was formed in the first place. We begin in the year 1917. At this time, the downfall of the Russian Empire was taking place. After several key revolutions, a man named Vladimir Lenin seized power. From 1917 to 1922, the Russian Civil War occurred, in which the Bolsheviks fought against the White Army. By 1922, the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, gained control of almost the whole former Russian Empire. Then, on December 30th, 1922, the Soviet Union was officially formed, with the unification of the Russian, Transcaucasian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian republics. So, as the country formed, it faced structural and ideological problems built inside of it. First was the highly centralized control of the country held by the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, or the CPSU. This often caused bureaucratic inefficiency in the country, showing a lack of responsiveness to the local needs. Second was the centrally planned economy. This did help the country industrialize at first, but eventually faced significant issues. By the 1980s, this system proved to promote stagnation and showed a lack of innovation. Third was the fact that numerous republics built the USSR, and each contained its own distinct national identity. And the tensions from through this were suppressed rather than resolved, creating a potential for conflict. Apart from these issues, there were also some key events that led to the downfall of the Soviet Union. Let's now understand each one of them. First were the leadership changes and reforms. After Stalin's death in 1953, Khrushchev launched de-Stalinization, which relaxed some of the repressive measures but also exposed the extent of Stalin's atrocities, resulting in the weakening of the party's legitimacy and hurting the party's image. Next, under Leonid Brezhnev in 1964 through 1982, the USSR experienced extreme economic stagnation and a reassertion of strict political control, leading to further systemic decay. Gorbachev became General Secretary of the nation in 1985, bringing forward reforms that aimed to modernize the country's economy and attempted to make the political system more transparent. However, these reforms might have actually backfired and hastened the economic decline. The relaxation of central control led to shortages and inflation, while attempts to transition to a more market-oriented economy were poorly managed. More trouble was awaiting when leaders attempted to implement further freedoms of expression. This led to rising criticism of the government and the spread of nationalist and separatist movements in the country. Then, in August 1991, one final event hit the Union. A group of hardline communists attempted a coup against Gorbachev. Even though this coup was unsuccessful, it helped the independence movements in the country gain momentum and support. By December 1991, the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus signed the Bela-Vesa Accords, declaring the USSR as dissolved. On December 25th, 1991, Gorbachev resigned and the Soviet Union officially ceased to exist from that day. The Soviet Union was disintegrated into 15 independent countries. This held so many impacts, like starting many new conflicts and disputes, significant population movements, cultural and identity changes, and also led to rapid democratization and many political reforms. However, that is a topic for some other episode. Coming back, the downfall of the Soviet Union was a result of a complex interplay of long-term structural weaknesses and the immediate political crises. A lot of systemic problems combined with the various impactful events led to the disintegration of the Soviet Union. That marks the end for this episode on the downfall of the Soviet Union. Thank you for listening.